So in the news, of course, Mavis Leno, that hasn't gone away yet. I've seen some new quotes. They've got the Los Angeles probate attorneys because lives out in L.A. County in California, and the attorneys are predicting hundreds of thousands. I guess it's a good day to be a LA probate attorney because they're predicting hundreds of thousands of dollars of attorney fees to get this done. Because unfortunately, very unfortunately, Jay Leno's wife has the dementia, and it's not like it happened overnight. And that's where the lesson is for the rest of us, right? It's not like she got dementia. Oh, woke up with dementia. It didn't happen like that. It wasn't a stroke. And sometimes it is, of course. Sometimes no prior symptoms. Somebody has a stroke. There's a car accident. Things like this. Those you can understand them better, perhaps. I don't know if it's completely understandable, but at least you can understand what was going on there. But with Mavis, apparently, Jay Leno's wife, this had been developing for years, and everybody knew it. It wasn't a brand new thing. It wasn't and now at the last minute, it's like, okay, she's gone to the point, her dementia has reached the point where she can no longer make decisions for herself. And so now they're in probate court trying to get Jay appointed to be able to execute a plan for her. Well, thank God for that. I mean, if they had waited longer, they'd just be going through probate and you'd find out how many cars Jay owns, right? You'd find out what his investments were. You'd find out who his beneficiaries are, all the rest of that stuff, what he's hoping for now. And you are going to find out some of that stuff. I mean, that is going to be published in the court. Some of it, but hopefully not all of it. What they're trying to do out there is say, yeah, I could have done a trust back in the day. I could have. I didn't. Now my spouse has the dementia. My spouse could have done the trust, right? And didn't, and now has dementia. And please, judge, let me write a trust for my spouse. Well, much better that than trying to sort it out in the probate court, right? After she's died, which was the alternative. That would be the next step. So, when folks are like, well, if I had so much assets, or if I was in such a position, or if all those ifs that you tell yourself, you need to put those aside. And I'll tell you, some people are like, oh, I don't have enough to worry about. I only have a house. Well, look at the house prices these days. Okay, they're crazy. Yeah, they're crazy, but they're not going anywhere. They're going to be that way, crazy for here on out. Does that mean that you want to give it away? Does that mean you want to throw it out the window? You say, well, compared to Jay Leno, I don't have very much. Yeah, well, here's what's something you have in common with Jay Leno. You didn't do an estate plan, for crying out loud. What are you thinking? So it's things like that. Those are the sorts of things that everybody needs to do. And you say, well, I don't even have a house, right? I don't have a house. I'm renting. I have nothing in the bank, et cetera, et cetera. Well, if that's the case, you made a lot of most of the time. Sometimes that's bad luck. You know what I mean? That bad luck happens to people. I'm not saying it doesn't. Sometimes it does. But most of the time, if you're in that situation, right, there were choices that you made that haven't turned out particularly well. Put it that way. Okay. So one of the things you got to be looking at, I would suggest, should be looking at is what is it exactly you're doing to hang on to what you have? Because the fact of it is, the sad fact of it is that most middle-class people will die broke. And it won't be because of choices that you made. It will be situations that were forced upon you. Look, if you want to look at somebody who's rich and famous, look at Jay Leno and Mavis Leno. Okay? I mean, it's like, it's right in front of you. How can you deny it? There it is, one more time. It's not like we haven't had lots of examples of this. And, the fact that it happens to famous people and gets in the newspaper, that's unusual. Usually they're better at hiding it. Usually they're better at covering it up. All right. But sometimes things go to such an extreme, they go so far, the person's so famous that it does make the papers. This is the tip of the iceberg, I guarantee you, out in LA, because it's the tip of the iceberg everywhere. It's the tip of your iceberg. I mean, a lot of people did do the planning, but a lot of people have not. And if you haven't done, you're going to wind up in a situation. There won't be any paparazzi. It won't be nightly news. It'll just be big attorney fees, which of course is wonderful. Wonderful for us. I don't know how well it works out for the client, but wonderful for the attorney, right? That you get you have to clean up a mess, right?